Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel today. And today I have a Bible journaling process for you in my 2-inch crossway Bible that you guys have seen before on this channel. And I am going to be doing a Bible journaling process using only the printables. So I am working on my second entry on Perpetually Enough. And this is a beautiful devotional for the month of March written by Andrea Lucato. I'll link below my first process so you can check that out. But I wanted to inspire those of you that only pick up the digitals, or maybe those of you that can't afford to get the full kit every month. I want to show you how you can pick up the faith-filled digitals and still make beautiful pages, and it's a great bang for your buck. This is also perfect for those of you that are international that may only be able to pick up this devotional in digital form, and then the faithful digitals, of course, in digital form. I have fussy cut out all of the pieces. Some of these I didn't fussy cut out because it would be easier for me to find what I need if the word Fetty is together. But I fussy cut all of the elements from the faithful digitals. I have out all of the journaling cards that I have left because it comes with 6 and I used 2 on my first entry. So I have the other ones here ready to go. And I have a scrap of cardstock that I got off of leftover from the journaling cards. I also have that one page that is all of the swatches. And this is part of the faithful digitals as well. I just cut around the white side border. Sorry, over here, stumbling over my words. I cut out the outside border so it'll be already cut and ready for me to go if I need to use it. And I also have the behold just in case. But I am going to be starting this process, and I'm just going to use the faithful digital. I'm going to use scissors, a journaling pen, a glue. You can use any glue you have in your stash. I'm also going to use black ink, my date stamp. I have a old tab here because I use my tab. The faithful digital brings a tab in the first page, but I used that on my first entry. So I brought another tab that I am going to use to trace onto one of these swatches and add to my page. So I have that tab as a template. And then I'm going to use one distress oxide color that I'm going to use in the background. And you don't have to do a background. You can use gelatos. You can use whatever you have in your stash. But I want to show you how we can make a beautiful page with just the faithful digitals. So, and some stuff that you may have in your stash. So I'm going to put you on fast forward and let's dig in. Okay, darling, so I start off here. I'm journaling in John chapter 1, verse 29. And I am going to place behind a Bible journaling mat behind my page because I'm going to use the smooshing method. And you'll see me add some clips. This is just something that I've started doing to kind of help keep the page stretched out as I do my backgrounds. And what I do is I just smoosh some of that ink onto some packaging, and then I spritz it with my distress sprayer. You can use just any water spray, honestly, and to activate that ink, and I smoosh it all over the back of my page. Now I'm going to go ahead and heat set this. You do not need a heat dryer for this. Honestly, you can just let it dry on its own, but I wanted to speed this up for you so you don't have to wait and see it dry. After that, I take away the clips and the mat. I finish off drying that page, and then that is done. There is a very subtle color in the background. You don't see it so much on camera, but believe me, it's there. Now I'm going to grab all the faith-filled digitals, and I'm just going to start building my title. I pull out all these little pieces that I fussy cut, and I am just going to see how I can create a title out of the words that I already have here. I thought I was going to use all of the words, but I end up just choosing the ones that I can. And then I saw my girl Rochelle create a beautiful bouquet with her faithful digital flowers, so the tulips and flowers that came with there. So I kind of wanted to do that at the bottom of my page using some inspiration from a fellow creative member. And then on the top, I use that beautiful, it's like a cluster of roses but flowers. And then I use the little cross circle in the center of that. And now I am cutting out this month, instead of a faux washi strip, it is a washi strip, but it's in the form of a beautiful like flowery rose strip. So I had to fussy cut that out just a little bit. I don't fussy cut too much, like all the little details, but just enough so you can see that it is a row of flowers, so to speak. So after I fussy cut that out, I'm going to use my favorite liquid adhesive, which is the Mono Tombow multi liquid glue. And I am going to just add some of that glue on the bottom here. And then I'm going to grab that long strip and I'm going to make sure that it goes all the way to the corner and line it up with my the edge of my page as much as I can. And I'll cut off the excess later. So now that I have that done, I'm going to start just gluing things down. I kind of know how I want to glue things down. You see that I'll change my mind as I build this, but that just goes with the process with adding different things as I'm going. I didn't want the cross to just sit upon the bouquet of flowers at the top, so I add just a little bit of foam adhesive so it pops off that. I love the dimension that adds. Everything else on my page is going to be really flat since it is just digital printed on regular copy paper, so I think that added a little extra to it. So I'm going to start gluing things down, and as you see me do that here on camera, I do want to read just a section of the devotional that really inspired this page from Andrea. She says that fortunately, Jesus brings good news to our perpetual sinning and our perpetual efforts to stop it. John the Baptist introduces Jesus in this way. Behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. John 1:29. I love that she stated that John introduced Jesus in this way, because I don't know if you've ever felt like you are in a cycle of sinning and asking for forgiveness and sinning and asking for forgiveness to the point that one day you're like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing here. But the beautiful part is that we are not enough, but he is enough. And he came exactly for that, to bring the good news and the resolution to our perpetual sinning. He is the perpetual enough that we needed. Here on camera, you see that I add in with my handwriting the word the, and then I add a label because there are some words that I'm missing for my title, and that's okay. I'll add that label there and I'll write that in later. And then I start adding the bouquet. So the bouquet is all kind of, the flowers all kind of tilt to one way from the Faithful Digital, and that's okay. I kind of manipulated them and made them work to my liking. And you'll see me cut off the excess, round off the corners here with my scissors. And then I decide that I'm gonna add, or I think about adding some more of these little flowers to make the bouquet a little bit fuller. But then I go against it. I didn't want to overdo it, but I did want to add another label at the bottom so I can add my date. So I cut off some of the excess from the bottom stems of the flowers, and then I glue down that label to make sure I can add my date. So I wanted to add perpetually enough, and I was originally going to do it in the middle of my bouquet. After gluing down my bouquet, I realized it was going to look too crowded, and so I am going to add that towards the side. This is going to cover up the text a little bit. For the most part, I did stay within the margin. Since this is my art Bible, I'm not 100% concerned about covering up the words, and I know that I can read this in my reading Bible if need be, so I just go ahead and add that to the side, and I think it actually came out even better, so I love that. I add my date at the bottom with my date stamp, and here I'm going to write in the word who is. So it ends up reading, behold Jesus Christ, the Lamb of God, who is perpetually enough. I love adding wonky hearts that come with the cardstock stickers, but since I'm only using digitals, I used up 3 of the ones that come in the Faithful Digitals. And the Faithful Digitals have those pretty ones that are half one color, half another, and so that just adds more pop of color to my page. I traced out that tab on first the swatch paper, and I used the pink one because I think it matched the best. And then I cut that out and I added to some cardstock just to make it a little bit more sturdy, since I've printed out my Faithful Digitals on some copy paper. And after I cut that out, I'm going to add that to the top of my page. But first I'm going to grab my scoring tool because I just want to make sure that fold is really, really good. You can just fold this on your own. You don't need that, or you can use the blade of your scissors as well. So as you can see, that cardstock is recycled. I use every scrap I have, and then I add that to the top of my page to finish it off. I think about maybe adding some other elements, but sometimes simple is better, and I think it turned out great. That is it, darlings. I love how it turned out, and I hope I inspired some of you to grab the digital devotional, even if you can't afford maybe the whole devotional, you're on a budget, or those of you that are international, to just grab the Faithful Digitals and see what you can do just with some digitals from this beautiful kit, or any kit after this. So I hope it inspired you to grab the Faithful Digitals. I will link the Faithful Digitals below for this month, just in case you want to pick them up. And thank you so much for joining me here on the Creative Retreat channel. Make sure you check out the other ladies and the beautiful projects they are doing in the month of March as well. Thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.